Clearwater Lake, New York. May 14th, 2011. An 18-year-old prom king named Danny Hayes vanishes. The official story: he was upset after prom, drove his car to the lake and drowned. The police searched for 2 weeks. They found his car, keys still in the ignition, but no body. The case was suspended, presumed drowning. The only thing that knew the truth was the lake itself. Cold, dark, and over 200 feet deep. For 12 years, the lake kept its secret. It became a local tragedy, the place where Danny Hayes was lost forever. A generation of teenagers was warned to be careful there. The town moved on. The family fractured. Everyone accepted the story. Everyone except his brother, Marcus. Marcus Hayes was different. He didn't accept it. He didn't move on. And he had a ritual. Every year, on May 14th, he'd take a boat to the exact spot where Danny's car was found, and he'd fish. It was his way of remembering, his way of refusing to let the story end. Then, on May 14th, 2023, his line went taut. He'd been fishing for his brother for 12 years. This time, he found him. Before we continue, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to hear this story. If you're comfortable, let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is where you are. Now let me tell you what happened to Marcus Hayes and his brother Danny. May 14th, 2023, 7:30 in the morning. Clearwater Lake is glass smooth and beautiful, the kind of morning where everything feels possible, the kind of morning where you forget that terrible things can happen. Marcus Hayes, 30 years old, sits in a 12-foot aluminum fishing boat with 2 friends, Jake Chen and Tyler Brooks. They've known each other since high school. They're drinking cheap beer even though it's barely 8 o'clock. That's what you do on fishing trips. That's what you do when you're trying to forget. Marcus casts his line. The lure hits the water with a soft plop. The sound is peaceful, calming. He's done this 100 times. Same spot, same day every year for 12 years. It's become a ritual, a way to remember without falling apart. Tyler cracks open another beer. The aluminum can hisses. Can't believe you actually do this every year, man. Marcus reels slowly. His movements are practiced, automatic. Yeah, tradition. It's kinda morbid though, Jake says. He's stretched out in the back of the boat, baseball cap over his face, trying to block out the sun. Fishing where your brother drowned. He didn't drown, Marcus replies quietly. His voice is flat, emotionless. They never found a body. He's just missing. For 12 years? Tyler raises an eyebrow. He takes a long drink of his beer. At some point, that's the same thing. Marcus doesn't answer. He just keeps reeling. The water is so clear he can see 20 feet down. Nothing but lake grass and rocks and the occasional flash of a fish darting through the sunlight. Everything looks normal, peaceful, like nothing bad ever happened here. Then his line goes taut. Not a nibble, not a bite. Just sudden, heavy resistance, like he's hooked onto a sunken log or a rock. Got something. Marcus grunts. Jake sits up. His hat falls off. Big one? Marcus reels. The rod bends almost double. Whatever's down there, it's heavy, really heavy. Heavier than any fish he's ever caught. He fights it for 5 minutes. His arms burn. The muscles in his shoulders scream. The reel screams too, line peeling out even as he tries to pull it back. Tyler leans over the side of the boat. The boat tilts slightly. What the hell did you catch? A car? I don't know. Marcus keeps reeling. Slowly, steadily. His hands are already cramping, but he doesn't stop. The line cuts through the water at a sharp angle. Whatever it is, it's coming up, inch by inch. 10 minutes. Marcus's hands are cramping so badly he can barely hold the rod. But he doesn't let go. Can't let go. The thing is maybe 30 feet down now. Then 20. Then 10. Then they see it. It breaks the surface slowly. Water streaming off it in sheets. Metal glinting in the morning sun like some kind of terrible treasure. A human skeleton, wrapped in heavy chains. 2 cinder blocks attached to the feet with wire. All 3 men freeze. Tyler makes a choking sound, a horrible, wet sound. He turns and vomits over the side of the boat. The sound of him retching is loud in the sudden silence. Jake scrambles backward so fast he almost falls out. His beer goes flying, spilling across the bottom of the boat. What the fuck? What the fuck? Marcus can't move, can't breathe, can't do anything except stare. He's staring at the skull, at the empty eye sockets that seem to be looking right at him, at the jaw hanging open like it's screaming, like it's been screaming for 12 years and no one heard. The skeleton is mostly intact. The bones are brown from the lake water. There are still bits of fabric clinging to it. Jeans, a shirt that might have been blue once, sneakers still on the feet, laces rotted away. Then Marcus sees it. Around the neck bones, a golden chain, still intact after 12 years underwater, tarnished but unbroken. And hanging from it, a pendant, a single letter, Doan. Marcus's vision tunnels. Everything else disappears. The boat, his friends, the lake, the morning sun, all of it gone. There's only the necklace, the golden D catching the light. He knows that necklace. He's seen it 1,000 times. Danny wore it every single day. Their mom gave it to him for his 18th birthday, 2 months before he disappeared. 2 months before Danny's car was found at this lake, with the keys still in the ignition and no sign of Danny anywhere. Marcus is 16 again, standing in the doorway of Danny's room, watching Danny get ready for prom. Danny is adjusting the necklace in the mirror, checking his hair, straightening his tie. He looks perfect, happy, alive. Danny catches Marcus watching. He grins. "How do I look, little bro?" "Good," Marcus says. "Really good." "You sure? Not too much?" Danny gestures at his tux. "You look like James Bond." Danny laughs. That big, warm laugh that makes everyone around him smile. James Bond. I like that. He touches the necklace. "Think Sarah will like it?" "She'll love it." "Good. Good." Danny takes a deep breath, lets it out slowly. This is it. You know, prom, then graduation, then everything changes. "You nervous?" "A little." Danny turns to face Marcus. "But excited too." "You know?" Marcus doesn't know. He's only 16. Prom is 2 years away for him. But he nods anyway. "You'll understand when you're older," Danny says. He ruffles Marcus's hair. "Take care of Mom and Dad while I'm out, okay?" "I always do." "I know." Danny grabs his keys, heads for the door, pauses. "Hey, Marcus?" "Yeah?" "Love you, little bro." "Love you too." That's the last normal conversation they ever have. Jake's voice snaps Marcus back to the present. "Marcus. Marcus, what do we do?" Marcus looks at Jake. Jake's eyes are locked on the necklace. His hand is reaching toward it. His fingers are trembling, but they're reaching. "Is that gold?" Jake's voice is shaking. "That's real gold, right? It's been down there forever. Nobody's looking for it." Marcus grabs Jake's wrist. Hard. Hard enough to leave marks. "Don't touch it." "Dude, it's been down there for years. Whoever it was is long gone." "I said don't touch it." Marcus's voice is sharp. Louder than he means it to be. Louder than he's ever spoken to Jake. Jake pulls his hand back. His eyes are wide. "Jesus, okay, I'm sorry." Marcus is still staring at the D pendant. His heart is pounding so hard he can feel it in his throat, feel it in his ears, feel it in his fingertips. It looks exactly like Danny's. Exactly. Same size, same font, same chain, same everything. But thousands of people have D necklaces. Could be anyone's. David, Daniel, Derek, Dominic. Could be a coincidence. Just a random person who happened to drown in the same lake where Danny disappeared. Except they're at the exact spot where Danny's car was found 12 years ago. The exact spot where the police searched for 2 weeks and found nothing. And Marcus has been fishing this exact spot every year for 12 years. And now, today, he catches this. Tyler wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. He's pale, sweating. "We need to call the cops. Right now." Marcus nods slowly. His movements feel mechanical, like someone else is controlling his body. He pulls out his phone. His hands are shaking so badly he almost drops it. He has to try 3 times to unlock it. He dials 911. The operator answers on the second ring. 911, what's your emergency? We found a body, Marcus says. His voice sounds distant, like someone else is talking, like he's listening to himself from very far away. At Clearwater Lake, we were fishing and we found a skeleton. Are you in immediate danger? The operator asks. Her voice is calm, professional. She's probably heard everything. No, it's been down there a while. What's your location? Marcus gives her the coordinates, the boat registration number, his name, everything she asks for. His brain is on autopilot, answering questions without really processing them. The operator tells him to stay on the line, tells him not to touch anything, tells him police and forensics are on the way, tells him they'll be there in 15 minutes. Marcus hangs up anyway. He can't listen to her anymore. Can't listen to anything except the sound of his own breathing and the water lapping against the boat. He stares at the skeleton, at the chains wrapped around the ribs, at the cinder blocks dragging it down, at the necklace with the letter D that looks exactly like the one Danny wore every single day. Jake is watching him. Jake knows something is wrong. Marcus? You okay, man? Marcus doesn't answer. Can't answer. Tyler leans forward. His voice is quiet. You recognize that necklace, don't you? Marcus swallows hard. His throat feels like it's full of broken glass. My brother had one like it. Like it? Tyler presses. Or that exact one. I don't know. Marcus whispers. I don't know. But he does know. Deep down, he knows. That's Danny. His brother has been at the bottom of this lake for 12 years. And someone put him there. Someone wrapped him in chains, weighted him down with cinder blocks, pushed him into the water and watched him sink. Someone killed Danny and let everyone think he drowned himself, and that someone has been walking around free for 12 years. The thought makes Marcus want to scream, want to jump in the water and pull Danny up with his bare hands, want to tear apart the whole lake until he finds answers. But he just sits there, frozen, staring at his brother's bones. In the distance, sirens start to wail. The police arrive in 15 minutes. 2 patrol cars and a forensics van. The boat is still floating 30 feet from shore. The skeleton is still half in the water, chains wrapped around the torso, cinder blocks dragging it down like anchors trying to pull it back into the depths. Detective Sarah Hayes is the first person Marcus sees when they bring the boat to shore. She's maybe 45, short gray hair cut close to her head, sharp eyes that miss nothing. She's wearing jeans and a police windbreaker that says State Police in big yellow letters. She looks like she was halfway through her Saturday morning coffee when she got the call. She watches as they beach the boat, watches as Marcus, Jake, and Tyler climb out. A forensics tech in waders walks into the water to secure the skeleton. They take photos from every angle. The chains, the cinder blocks, the bones, the necklace. Flash after flash after flash. Hayes separates Marcus, Jake, and Tyler immediately. She puts Marcus on a wooden bench near the parking lot, Jake by the public bathrooms, Tyler at a picnic table. She has uniformed officers watching each of them, making sure they don't talk to each other, don't coordinate stories. Then she interviews Jake first. Marcus can't hear what they're saying, but he can see Jake's body language, nervous, fidgeting, hands moving too much, gesturing at the lake, at the boat, at Marcus. 20 minutes later, Hayes talks to Tyler. Tyler is calmer, more methodical. He's pointing at the lake, explaining something. His movements are controlled, precise. Then Hayes walks over to Marcus. She sits down on the bench next to him. The wood is old, weathered. It creaks under her weight. Marcus Hayes? Yeah. I'm Detective Sarah Hayes. I need to ask you some questions. She pulls out a small notebook, the kind with a spiral binding at the top, flips it open to a blank page. Marcus nods. He can't find his voice. Hayes clicks her pen. How often do you fish here? Once a year. She writes that down. Her handwriting is small, neat. Always the same day? Yeah, May 14th. More writing. Why May 14th? Marcus hesitates. This is where it starts to look bad. He knows it, but he can't lie. It's the anniversary. Of what? My brother. He disappeared from this lake 12 years ago. Hayes stops writing. She looks at Marcus directly. Her eyes are gray, cold. Your brother disappeared from this lake. Yeah. And you fish here every year on the anniversary. Yeah. Hayes is studying his face now. Looking for something. Lies. Guilt. Marcus doesn't know. Why? Marcus doesn't know how to explain it. How do you explain that sitting on the water where your brother vanished feels like being close to him? That it's the only way to remember without completely falling apart? That for one day a year, he can pretend Danny is just late coming home instead of gone forever? I just do, Marcus says quietly. Hayes writes something. Marcus can't see what. Your friend said you recognized the necklace. Marcus's stomach tightens. Twists. I said it looked like one my brother had. Looked like. Or is. I don't know, but you thought about it. When you saw it. It's not a question. Marcus doesn't answer. What can he say? Yes, I thought about it. Yes, I think that's my brother down there, wrapped in chains. Hayes leans forward slightly. Her voice is calm, even, professional. Marcus, I'm going to be straight with you. In my experience, the person who finds the body usually knows where it is. Marcus's head snaps up. What? You fished the exact spot where your brother disappeared. On the exact anniversary. For 12 years. And today, you catch a body. She lets that hang in the air. That's quite a coincidence. I didn't know it was there. Didn't you? Hayes's voice doesn't change. Still calm. Still even. Or did you know exactly where to cast your line? Marcus stands up fast. The bench scrapes against the gravel. Are you accusing me of something? I'm asking questions. You're accusing me of killing my brother. I'm trying to figure out why you found him. Hayes stands too. She's shorter than Marcus, but somehow she seems bigger. More solid. You understand how this looks, right? 12 years of fishing the same spot. The same day. And suddenly, today, you catch a body. Because I got unlucky. Because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or the right place at the right time. Marcus wants to scream. Wants to grab Hayes by the shoulders and shake her until she understands. I didn't kill Danny. I loved him. He was my brother. People kill family members every day. Not me. Hayes doesn't react to his anger. Doesn't flinch. Just watches him. Studies him. Lets the silence stretch between them like a rubber band pulled tight. Finally, she speaks. Her voice is quieter now. Where's your brother's necklace now? Marcus blinks. What? You said he had a necklace like that. Where is it? Marcus thinks. He has a box of Danny's stuff. The police gave it back in 2013 when they declared Danny legally dead. His wallet, his keys, his phone, his class ring. At home, in a box. The police gave his stuff back. Hayes nods slowly. Show me. Now? Now. Hayes drives Marcus to his apartment. It's a 20-minute ride. They don't talk. The radio is off. The only sound is the engine and the occasional crackle of the police radio on Hayes's dashboard. Marcus stares out the window, watches the town go by. The coffee shop where he and Danny used to get breakfast. The park where they played basketball. The high school they both attended. Everything looks the same. But everything is different. They park outside Marcus's building. It's a rundown complex near the highway. Red brick, rusted railings. Broken window in the lobby that's been broken for 2 years. Marcus leads Hayes upstairs to the 3rd floor. Apartment 308. Inside, the place is small. 1 bedroom barely big enough for a bed and a dresser. Kitchen barely big enough to turn around in. Living room with a couch Marcus found on Craigslist and a TV he bought at Walmart. But it's clean, organized, books on the shelf arranged by author, dishes washed and put away. Hayes looks around, taking it in, making judgments. You live alone? Yeah, always. Since college. Hayes nods. Walks further into the apartment, looks at the photos on the wall. Most of them are of Danny. Danny in his football uniform. Danny at graduation. Danny with his arm around Marcus. Where's the box? Marcus goes to his bedroom closet. He pulls out a cardboard box from the top shelf. It's not heavy, but it feels heavy, like it's full of concrete instead of memories. There's writing on the side in black Sharpie. Danny's things. He carries it to the kitchen table, sets it down. The cardboard makes a dull thud. Hayes watches him. When did you last open this? I don't know. A few years ago? Why did you keep it? Marcus looks at the box. At Danny's name written in his own handwriting. It's all I have left of him. Hayes doesn't respond, just watches. Marcus cuts the tape with a kitchen knife. The blade is dull, so it takes a few tries. The tape finally gives way with a ripping sound. He opens the box. Inside, Danny's wallet. Brown leather, worn at the edges. His keys on a Red Sox keychain, even though they lived in New York and Danny hated the Red Sox, but he loved being contrary. His phone, an old iPhone 4 that doesn't work anymore. Screen cracked from when Danny dropped it. His class ring from high school. Some photos of him and Sarah. A few ticket stubs from movies and concerts. Marcus digs through the box, looking for the necklace. Moving things aside, checking under the wallet, under the photos. He goes through everything twice, then a third time, getting more frantic with each pass. It's not there. It should be here, Marcus says. His voice is rising, getting louder, getting desperate. It was in here. I know it was. Hayes is watching him carefully. Her face is neutral, unreadable. Are you sure? Yes. Marcus dumps the box out on the table. Everything spills out. The wallet falls open. Photos scatter. Keys clatter against the wood. The police gave his stuff back. His wallet, his keys, his ring, everything from his car. But not the necklace. Marcus stares at the pile of Danny's things. The wallet is worn from being in Danny's pocket every day for years. The keys have scratches from being tossed into dozens of bowls and drawers. The phone screen is cracked in a spiderweb pattern, but no necklace. I don't understand, Marcus whispers. He picks up the wallet, opens it. Danny's driver's license is still inside. His face smiles up at Marcus from the plastic. He looks so young, so alive. I thought. Hayes pulls out her phone, takes photos of the contents of the box. The wallet, the keys, the ring, all of it. Marcus, I need you to come back to the station. We need to get a DNA sample from you. DNA? To compare to the remains. To confirm if it's your brother. The word remains hits Marcus like a physical blow. Like Hayes reached out and punched him in the chest. You think that's Danny? I think it's a strong possibility. And if it is, this is a homicide investigation. Marcus sits down heavily in one of the kitchen chairs. His legs won't hold him anymore. His whole body feels like it's made of water. Someone killed him. The chains and cinder blocks suggest that yes. Who would want to kill Danny? The question comes out broken, confused. Everyone loved Danny. Hayes closes her notebook, tucks it into her pocket. That's what I'm going to find out. But first, we need to confirm it's him. Marcus looks up at her. And if it is, if it's really Danny down there, then we find who put him there. 3 days later, Hayes calls Marcus. Her voice on the phone is professional but softer than before. We need you to come to the station. Bring your father. Marcus picks up his dad from the house where Marcus grew up. The house where he and Danny shared a room until Danny left for college. Where they played video games and argued about stupid things and stayed up too late talking about everything and nothing. Tom Hayes is 63 now. He looks older than that. The last 12 years have aged him in ways that have nothing to do with time. His hair is completely gray now, used to be brown like Danny's. His face is lined with grief that never healed, creases that get deeper every year. His hands shake slightly when he reaches for things. Tremors that started after Danny disappeared and never stopped. Tom gets in the car, moves slowly. Like every movement hurts. What's this about? Marcus grips the steering wheel. His knuckles are white. I think they found Danny. Tom's hands start shaking harder. The tremors get worse. What? The body I found. The police think it's him. Tom closes his eyes, leans his head back against the seat. Oh, God. They drive to the police station in silence. Tom stares out the window. Marcus can see tears running down his father's face. Silent tears that just keep coming. Tom doesn't wipe them away, just lets them fall. At the station, Hayes meets them in the lobby. She's wearing the same jeans and windbreaker. She looks like she hasn't slept. There are dark circles under her eyes. "Mr. Hayes, Marcus, thank you for coming." She leads them to a conference room. Small, windowless, table in the center with chairs around it. A box of tissues on the table. That's when Marcus knows it's bad. They don't put tissues out for good news. They sit. Hayes sits across from them. She has a folder in front of her, manila, thick with papers. "The DNA came back," Hayes says quietly. She opens the folder but doesn't look at it, like she's memorized what's inside. It's a match to the family sample you provided 12 years ago. Tom makes a sound. A broken, horrible sound that Marcus has never heard before. Like something inside him just shattered. He puts his face in his hands and sobs. His whole body shakes with it. Marcus feels numb. He knew. He's known since he saw the necklace. But hearing it confirmed makes it real in a way nothing else has. Makes it impossible to deny, or hope, or pretend. "I'm very sorry for your loss," Hayes says. She pushes the tissue box toward Tom. Tom can't speak. He just cries. Deep, wrenching sobs that sound like they're tearing him apart from the inside. Marcus finds his voice. It sounds far away. "How did he die?" Hayes pulls out a report from the folder. The medical examiner found evidence of blunt force trauma to the skull. Specifically, a fracture to the left parietal bone consistent with being struck by a heavy cylindrical object, like a pipe or a bat. The trauma occurred before death. He was hit, yes. Then the drowning occurred. The examiner believes he was unconscious when he went into the water. He drowned while unconscious. Tom looks up. His face is wet, red, destroyed. "Someone killed my son?" "Yes." "Who?" "That's what I'm investigating." Marcus feels anger rising. It's been simmering for 3 days. Now it boils over. Burns through the numbness. "You thought I did it. You interrogated me like I killed my own brother." Hayes meets his eyes, doesn't look away. "I had to eliminate you as a suspect. That's my job." "Am I eliminated?" The medical examiner dates the death to May 2011. You were 16. You didn't have a driver's license yet. You couldn't have transported the body, or the cinder blocks. You're cleared. Good to know you finally believe me. Tom reaches over, puts a hand on Marcus's arm. His grip is weak but insistent. Marcus. Marcus pulls away. He stands up, starts pacing, can't sit still anymore. "What now? You're just going to investigate? Like they did 12 years ago?" "They didn't find anything then. They didn't look," Hayes says. Her voice is sharp now, harder. "I pulled the case file. The detective who handled it assumed drowning. He didn't pull phone records, didn't check financials, didn't investigate any other possibilities beyond accidental death or suicide. He failed your family." Tom is staring at Hayes. His eyes are red but focused. "You can find who did this. I'm going to try. Promise me." Tom's voice breaks again. "Promise me you'll find him." Hayes looks at Tom for a long moment, at Marcus pacing behind him. "I promise I will do everything I can." Marcus sits back down. The anger drains out of him as fast as it came, leaves him empty. "What do you need from us?" "Everything you remember about May 14th, 2011. Who Danny was with, where he went, who he talked to, what was going on in his life. Every detail matters, even things that seemed insignificant at the time." Tom wipes his eyes, takes a shaky breath. "His girlfriend, Sarah Davis. She was the last one to see him alive." Hayes writes that down. "Anyone else?" "His coach," Marcus says. The name comes to him suddenly. Coach Mitchell. Danny talked to him about everything. They were really close. Hayes underlines the name, circles it. "I'll start there." Hayes goes back to her desk and pulls the original missing person file. It's archived in the basement of the station. Row after row of cardboard boxes with case numbers written on them in fading marker. She finds the right box, carries it upstairs. The cardboard is dusty, spotted with mildew. It smells like basement and time. She opens it at her desk. The file inside is thin, way too thin for a missing person case. Missing persons files should be thick, Should be full of witness statements and phone records and search logs and follow-up reports. This one is maybe 20 pages. Missing person report. Filed May 15th, 2011, 7:42 a.m. Reporting party. Thomas Hayes, father. Missing person. Daniel Marcus Hayes, 18 years old. White male, 6 feet tall, 170 pounds. Brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing black tuxedo. Last seen. May 14th, 2011, approximately 10 p.m., leaving senior prom at Jefferson High School. Vehicle. 2009 Honda Civic. Silver, New York license plate NYS 472EGT. Vehicle later located at Clearwater Lake. Status. Active search. The investigating officer was Deputy Frank Wilson. Retired now. Moved to Florida in 2015 to be near his daughter. Hayes reads Wilson's notes. They're sparse. Careless. May 15th. Vehicle. Located at Clearwater Lake parking area, 6:30 a.m. Keys and ignition. No signs of struggle. No blood. Personal effects. Wallet. Phone. Class ring. Found on driver's seat. May 15th. Interviewed girlfriend Sarah Davis, age 18. States victim dropped her at home approx. 11 p.m. on night of May 14th. Victim seemed upset, but did not elaborate on reason. Davis states this was last time she saw victim alive. May 16th through 29th. Lake search conducted. Divers deployed. Sonar scan completed. Dragging operations in progress. No body recovered. Lake depth exceeds 200 feet in center. Heavy vegetation and debris on lake floor complicates search. May 30th. Search suspended due to resource constraints and low probability of recovery. Presumed drowning. Body likely unrecoverable due to lake depth and conditions. Case status. Suspended pending new evidence. That's it. That's the entire investigation. 13 days and then they gave up. No phone records pulled. No financial records checked. No interviews with friends or family beyond the girlfriend. No canvassing of the area. No questioning of people who were at the lake that night. No follow-up of any kind. Wilson saw a car at a lake and a missing teenager and wrote it off as a drowning. Neat. Simple. Case closed. Hayes feels anger building in her chest. This is why people don't trust police. This is why families spend decades without answers. Because cops like Wilson take the easy answer and move on. She picks up her phone, dials Wilson's number from the retirement paperwork in his file. He answers on the third ring. His voice is gravelly, rough from years of smoking. Hello? Deputy Wilson? This is Detective Sarah Hayes, New York State Police. There's a pause. She can hear him shifting, settling into a chair maybe. I'm retired, Wilson says. His tone is immediately defensive. Wary. I know, sir. I'm calling about a case you worked. Daniel Marcus, 2011. Another pause. Longer this time. The drowning kid? We found his body. In chains. Weighted down with cinder blocks. Blunt force trauma to the skull. The pause stretches out. Hayes can hear Wilson breathing. Can almost hear him thinking. Chains? Someone killed him and dumped him. Wrapped him in chains. Attached cinder blocks to his feet, pushed him into the deepest part of the lake. Wilson is quiet for so long, Hayes thinks he might have hung up. Then, Jesus. I didn't know. We searched that lake for 2 weeks. We had divers down there every day. Did you investigate it as anything other than a drowning? We did our due diligence. Wilson starts. His voice is getting defensive now. Did you pull phone records? In 2011? For a drowning? That wasn't standard procedure back then. Did you interview anyone besides the girlfriend? Did you talk to his friends, his teachers, his coach? Did you canvass the lake? Did you check if anyone saw anything that night? We interviewed the family. We searched the lake. We did everything we could with the resources we had. You closed the case after 2 weeks. There was nothing else to investigate. Wilson's voice is rising now. Getting angry. Defensive. The kid's car was at the lake. His stuff was in the car. The girlfriend said he was depressed. It was obvious what happened. Was he depressed? The girlfriend said he was upset. Upset isn't suicidal, Deputy Wilson. Look, Detective, I did my job. I did the best I could with what I had. If I missed something, I'm sorry. But I did my job. There's a click. Wilson hung up. Hayes sets down her phone, takes a deep breath, lets it out slowly. Getting angry won't help Danny, won't help his family. She needs to focus. She goes back to the file. Finds Sarah Davis's statement from 2011. It's handwritten on a standard witness statement form. Statement of Sarah Davis, May 15th, 2011, 8:30 a.m. Danny and I went to prom together. We had a good time. He was prom king. Around 10:30 p.m. he said he was tired and wanted to leave. He drove me home and dropped me off around 11 p.m. He seemed upset about something, but he wouldn't tell me what. He said he'd call me tomorrow. That's the last time I saw him. That's all. No follow-up questions. No details about where exactly she lived or how long the drive was or what time she got home. Just a basic statement, and then Wilson moved on. Hayes makes a note to re-interview Sarah. Then she requests Danny's phone records from the carrier. In 2011, the phone companies weren't required to keep records for long. But she gets lucky. They archived everything from that month because there was a separate investigation into drug trafficking and they preserved all the data. The records arrive 2 days later via email. Hundreds of pages. Hayes goes through them line by line. Danny's last text message. Sent at 11:43 p.m. on May 14th, 2011. To an unknown number with a 518 area code. I'm at the lake. Where are you? The unknown number replies at 11:51 p.m. On my way. Don't leave. No activity after that. Danny's phone went dead at 11:58 p.m. Either turned off or destroyed or at the bottom of a lake. Hayes traces the unknown number. It's a prepaid cell phone. She gets the details from the carrier. Purchased, May 10th, 2011, 2:47 p.m. Location, 7-Eleven on Market Street. Payment method, cash. No credit card. No name attached. Activated, May 10th, 2011, 3:15 p.m. Cancelled, May 21st, 2011, 9:22 a.m. 1 week after Danny died. The phone was only active for 11 days, and in those 11 days, it only contacted one number, Danny's number, no one else, nowhere else. Hayes pulls the full text history between Danny and the burner phone. There are only 8 messages total. May 12th, 3:47 p.m. Unknown. Did you think about what I said? May 12th, 4:15 p.m. Danny, I can't do this anymore. May 12th, 4:22 p.m. Unknown. You don't have a choice. May 12th, 4:35 p.m. Danny, there's always a choice. May 13th, 7:18 p.m. Unknown. We need to talk. In person. May 13th, 7:45 p.m. Danny, I don't want to talk to you. May 13th, 8:03 p.m. Unknown. You don't have a choice. Meet me, or I'll come to you. May 14th, 10:52 p.m. Danny, fine. Lake, midnight. May 14th, 11:11 p.m. Unknown. I'll be there. Don't do anything stupid. Someone bought a burner phone specifically to communicate with Danny. Someone who didn't want their real number traced. Someone Danny was in conflict with. Someone who was threatening him. And that someone met Danny at the lake the night he died. Hayes needs to find out who Danny was in conflict with. What he was involved in. What he couldn't do anymore. She needs to talk to Sarah Davis again. And this time, she's getting the whole story. Hayes tracks down Sarah Davis. She's Sarah Peterson now, married 8 years ago, has 2 kids, ages 5 and 3, lives in a nice house in Westchester, about 40 minutes from where Danny died. Hayes calls her. Miss Peterson? This is Detective Sarah Hayes with the State Police. I need to talk to you about Daniel Marcus. There's a long pause on the other end. Hayes can hear kids playing in the background. A TV. Normal family sounds. Danny? That was... God. That was 12 years ago. We found his body. Sarah gasps. Actually gasps. The sound is sharp, painful. Oh my God. I need to ask you some questions. Can we meet? Yes. Yes, of course. Where? Is there a coffee shop near you? They meet at a Starbucks in downtown Westchester. Sarah arrives 15 minutes late, apologizing. She's 30 now. Still pretty but tired looking. Hair pulled back in a ponytail. Yoga pants and a sweatshirt. No makeup. She looks like she ran out of the house in a hurry. She orders a latte but doesn't drink it. Just holds the cup with both hands like she needs something to do with them. Her wedding ring catches the light. Diamond. Expensive. Hayes sits across from her in a corner booth, away from other customers. I know you gave a statement in 2011, but I need you to walk me through that night again, start to finish. Every detail you can remember. Sarah nods. Her hands are shaking. The coffee trembles in the cup. Okay. We went to prom together. Danny and me. We'd been dating since sophomore year. He was prom king that year. I was so proud of him. How did he seem that night? Good at first. Happy. But then, Sarah trails off. Stares into her coffee. Then what? Around 10 o'clock, maybe a little after, he got really quiet, distracted, like something was bothering him. Did he say what? No. I asked a few times. He just said he was tired, that he had a headache, but I could tell something was wrong. What time did you leave prom? Around 10:30. And he drove you home? Sarah hesitates. It's barely noticeable, but Hayes catches it. A tiny pause before she answers. Yes. What time did you get to your house? Around 11, I think. Hayes pulls out the phone records, slides them across the table, points to Danny's last text. Danny's phone pinged at Clearwater Lake at 11:43 p.m. He sent a text. I'm at the lake. Where are you? Sarah stares at the records. Her face goes pale. The color just drains right out. Hayes continues, keeping her voice level. Even. Your parents' house where you lived in 2011 is on Maple Street. That's 32 minutes from the lake according to Google Maps. If he dropped you off at 11 p.m., he wouldn't arrive at the lake until 11:32 at the earliest. Not 11:43. Maybe I got the time wrong. It was a long time ago. Sarah's voice is shaking now. Or maybe he didn't drop you at your house. Sarah's eyes fill with tears. She sets down the coffee. Her hands are shaking too much to hold it anymore. Hayes leans forward, softens her voice just slightly. Sarah, this is a homicide investigation. Whatever you're hiding, whatever you lied about back then, it's time to tell the truth. Someone killed Danny, and you might be the last person who saw him alive. Sarah starts crying, not quiet tears, full sobbing. Her whole body shakes with it. People in the coffee shop start looking over. Hayes doesn't care. She waits. Lets Sarah cry. Pushes the napkin dispenser toward her. Finally, Sarah looks up. Mascara is running down her face in black streaks. We didn't go to my house. Hayes doesn't say anything. Just waits. Sarah takes a shaky breath. Wipes her eyes with a napkin. Smears the mascara worse. We went to the lake. Together. We had a fight. What about? Sarah closes her eyes. More tears leak out. I was pregnant. Hayes writes that down. Keeps her face neutral. Did Danny know? I told him that night, in the car. After prom. Sarah's voice is barely above a whisper now. I'd been scared to tell him for weeks. I kept thinking about it, planning how to say it. I thought prom would be romantic, magical. I thought he'd be happy. Was he? No. Sarah laughs. But there's no humor in it. Just pain. Old pain that never healed. He freaked out. He said we were too young. That we couldn't have a baby. That he wasn't ready to be a father. That he had college in the fall, and plans, and a future. What did you say? I got angry. Really angry. I said he was a coward, that he was abandoning me, that he was just like every other deadbeat guy. He said I was trying to trap him, that I got pregnant on purpose. Sarah is crying harder now. We said horrible things to each other, things I wish I could take back every single day. Then what happened? I told him to stop the car. I couldn't be in there with him anymore. I just needed out. He pulled over in the parking lot at Clearwater Lake. I got out. I took out my phone and called my friend Lisa. Asked her to come get me. What time was that? I don't know exactly. Maybe 11:20? 11:30? I wasn't really paying attention. What was Danny doing when you called your friend? Sitting in the car, looking at his phone. He was typing something. Probably a text. Hayes shows her the burner phone number. The one Danny was texting that night. Do you recognize this number? Sarah looks at it, shakes her head. No. Whose is it? We don't know. It's a prepaid phone. Someone was texting Danny, threatening him. Threatening him about what? We're trying to figure that out. Hayes pauses. How long did you wait for your friend? Maybe 20 minutes? Lisa lived on the other side of town. She got there around 11:45. And Danny was still there when Lisa picked you up? Yes. Still sitting in his car. Still on his phone. I didn't even look at him when I left. I was so angry. I just got in Lisa's car and we drove away. Did Danny say anything about meeting someone? No. But... Sarah hesitates. But what? While we were fighting, his phone buzzed. He looked at it, and his whole face changed. Changed how? Scared. Like really scared. He went completely pale. I asked what was wrong, but he wouldn't tell me. He just said he had to deal with something. That I wouldn't understand. Hayes makes a note. Think carefully. In the weeks before prom, was Danny acting different? Was he stressed? Worried about something? Sarah thinks. Her eyes move back and forth like she's watching a memory. He was stressed about money. He kept talking about money. Did he say why? He said he owed someone, but he wouldn't tell me who or how much. I asked, but he said it was handled, that he'd taken care of it. Do you know where he got money from? No, but his parents gave him some graduation money. Maybe that? Hayes makes another note. She needs to check Danny's bank records. One more question. What happened to the pregnancy? Sarah looks down at her hands. At her wedding ring. I miscarried. 2 weeks after Danny disappeared. The doctor said it was probably stress. I was barely eating, barely sleeping. I felt like it was my fault. Like I killed both of them. It wasn't your fault. I left him there alone. If I'd stayed, someone chose to kill Danny, Hayes says firmly. That's not on you. That's on them. But Sarah just keeps crying. Hayes can tell she's been carrying this guilt for 12 years, wondering if things would be different if she'd stayed, if she'd been nicer, if she'd reacted differently. Hayes leaves her in the coffee shop. She has a new lead now. Danny owed someone money. Someone was texting him from a burner phone, someone he was scared of. Hayes needs to find out who. And she's starting to get an idea. Coach Mitchell. Danny's mentor. The man Danny told everything to. Or at least, the man Danny was supposed to tell everything to. Raymond Mitchell is 57 years old. He's been coaching football at Jefferson High School for 30 years. 3 Coach of the Year awards. Multiple championship wins. A wall full of photos showing him with players who went on to play college ball, even a few who made it to the NFL. His office is small but packed with memories. Team photos going back decades, trophies crowding every shelf, signed footballs in display cases, banners hanging from the ceiling. There's a wall of fame. Photos of every player who got a college scholarship. Hayes counts them. 43 students over 30 years. Danny's photo is there. Front and center. 2011 team photo. Danny is in the front row, wearing number 12. He's smiling. Looks happy. Looks alive. Mitchell is tall, still in good shape for 57. Not the thick muscle of his playing days, but lean, fit, salt and pepper hair cut short, clean shaven. He's wearing coaching gear, Jefferson High football polo, khaki pants, sneakers. He shakes Hayes' hand. Firm grip, makes eye contact. Detective. Please, have a seat. He gestures to a chair across from his desk. Sarah called me yesterday. Said you found Danny. After all these years, I still can't believe it. Hayes sits, takes out her notebook. You were close with Danny? Very close. He was one of my best players. Mitchell sits behind his desk, leans back in his chair. Comfortable, relaxed, incredible athlete. But more than that, he was a good kid. Smart, dedicated, great leader. The team looked up to him. Did he confide in you? About personal matters? Sometimes. I try to be there for my players. They're like sons to me. All of them. He gestures at the wall of photos. I've been doing this for 30 years. Watched hundreds of boys become men. Did Danny tell you his girlfriend was pregnant? Mitchell pauses. It's barely a half second. A tiny hesitation before he answers. But Hayes sees it, catalogs it. No, I didn't know that. Interesting. Because Sarah Davis said Danny told you everything. Well, Mitchell spreads his hands, gives a small smile. Apparently not that. Hayes pulls out a printout of the burner phone number, slides it across the desk. Do you recognize this number? Mitchell looks at it. His expression doesn't change. Should I? It's a prepaid cell phone, purchased 4 days before Danny died, canceled 1 week after he died. It only ever contacted Danny's number, no one else. Lots of people have prepaid phones, detective. True. But this phone was used to text Danny the night he died. The last text said, "I'll be there, don't do anything stupid." Then someone showed up at that lake and killed him. Mitchell's expression still doesn't change. Still calm. Still relaxed. What does that have to do with me? I didn't say it did. They stare at each other. Hayes watches for any tell, any sign of nervousness. But Mitchell is good. Either he's innocent or he's had 12 years to practice this conversation in his head. Hayes tries a different angle. In your experience as a coach, did you ever have issues with players getting involved in things they shouldn't? Drugs, gambling, anything like that? Occasionally, teenagers make mistakes. That's part of growing up. What about organized gambling, point shaving, fixing games? Mitchell's jaw tightens. Just slightly. Just for a second. That's a serious accusation, detective. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm asking a general question. No. I've never had that issue with my players. Hayes makes a note. The jaw tightening is interesting. Danny withdrew $5,000 in cash on May 14th, the day he died. Any idea why he'd need that much money? College expenses, probably. Books, housing deposit. College didn't start until August. Why would he need cash in May? Mitchell shrugs. You'd have to ask Danny. But I can't help you there. Where were you the night of May 14th, 2011? Mitchell doesn't hesitate. Home, with my wife. We had dinner, watched a movie, went to bed. What movie? I don't remember. It was 12 years ago. But you remember being home. Yes, because that was my routine. Still is. I'm usually in bed by 10 on school nights. Even during prom night? Don't you usually chaperone school dances? I did chaperone prom that year. I left around 9:30. Came home. My wife will verify that if you need her to. Hayes closes her notebook. Stands. I'll be in touch if I have more questions. Of course. Mitchell stands too. Walks her to the door. Detective, I hope you find who did this. Danny deserved better. Yes, he did. Hayes leaves. But she's already planning her next steps, because Mitchell tensed when she asked about gambling. And people don't tense unless they're hiding something. She needs to dig deeper, talk to more former players, find out what was really going on with Danny and Coach Mitchell. Hayes gets a warrant for Danny's bank records. The judge grants it quickly. Homicide investigation. Possible financial motive. Reasonable cause. The records arrive the next day. Hayes goes through them line by line. Danny had a checking account. Typical teenager stuff. Paychecks from his part-time job at the grocery store. Small withdrawals for gas and food and movies. Then May 14th, 2011, 2:17 p.m. Withdrawal. $5,000 cash. Hayes cross-references with the original case file. There's a note from a bank teller interview. Customer Daniel Marcus withdrew $5,000 cash from savings account. He seemed nervous, kept looking around, said money was for college expenses. I processed the withdrawal, and he left immediately. College expenses in May when school doesn't start until August. Hayes doesn't buy it. She keeps digging, expands her search, starts interviewing Danny's former teammates, the ones who are still in the area. Most of them barely remember Danny. It's been 12 years. They've moved on with their lives, got jobs, got married, had kids. High school is ancient history, but she finds Jason Reed, 29 now, works in construction, lives in a small apartment on the east side, single, no kids, still lives in the town where he grew up. They meet at a bar. Reed's choice. Dingy place with sticky floors and a pool table in the back. Reed orders a beer. Downs half of it in one go. He's nervous. Won't make eye contact. What do you remember about Danny Marcus? Hayes asks. Reed shrugs. Good guy. Quiet mostly. Kept to himself. What about Coach Mitchell? Reed shifts in his seat, peels the label on his beer bottle. What about him? What was his relationship with the players? He was intense. Really into winning. Sometimes too into it, you know. Did he ever do anything inappropriate? Reed looks around the bar, lowers his voice. Look, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Danny's dead, Jason. Someone murdered him. If you know something, now's the time to tell me. Reed is quiet for a long time. He finishes his beer, orders another one. The bartender brings it over. Reed takes a long drink. Finally, Coach ran bets. Hayes leans forward, keeps her voice low. What kind of bets? Sports betting. He had connections. Guys who'd pay for inside information, pay for games to go a certain way. Reed won't look at her, just stares at his beer. He'd have us fix games, miss shots, fumble, throw interceptions on purpose, make it look natural. He'd pay us $100 here, $200 there, small amounts so we wouldn't talk. How much was he making? Thousands. Way more than what he paid us. We were stupid kids. We didn't realize he was exploiting us. Did Danny know about this? Danny found out senior year. October or November, I think. He was pissed, really pissed. He said it was wrong, that we were being used. That coach was supposed to be teaching us about integrity and instead he was corrupting us. What happened? Danny threatened to report it. To the principal, to the school board, to the police. Coach freaked out. He could have lost his job, lost his pension, probably would have faced criminal charges. So what did Mitchell do? He gave Danny money to keep quiet. I don't know how much, but I heard it was a lot. Danny was torn up about it. He kept saying it was wrong, that he couldn't live with himself, but he took the money. Hayes feels everything clicking into place. Did Danny report it? I don't know. He disappeared before the end of the year. I always wondered if... Reed trails off. If Coach had something to do with it. Reed finally looks at Hayes. His eyes are red. Yeah. Hayes thanks Reed. Leaves him in the bar. She has what she needs now. Motive. Danny was going to report Mitchell. Mitchell had everything to lose. $5,000. Mitchell paid Danny off. Danny was giving the money back. The burner phone. Mitchell bought it to communicate with Danny without leaving a trail. Now she needs physical evidence, something that ties Mitchell directly to Danny's death. She sends the chains from Danny's body to the state forensics lab. Requests DNA analysis using the newest technology. Touch DNA. It wasn't available in 2011, but it's standard now. The lab tech she talks to is optimistic. If the killer handled these chains without gloves, we should be able to get touch DNA. Skin cells transfer easily to metal surfaces, and being underwater actually helps preserve it. I've pulled DNA from items that have been submerged for decades. Hayes waits. It takes 3 days. Longest 3 days of her life. The results come back on a Tuesday afternoon. Hayes is at her desk when her phone rings. The lab. Detective Hayes? We got a hit on the chains. Hayes sits up straight. What did you find? Touch DNA. Multiple skin cells. We ran it through CODIS and got a match. To who? Raymond Mitchell. Date of birth, September 12th, 1966. He's in the system from a DUI arrest in 2009. Hayes feels her heart rate spike. You're sure? 13-point match. It's him. Hayes hangs up, sits back in her chair. She has him. She has motive. She has the money trail. She has the phone, and now she has DNA. She goes to the prosecutor, lays out the case, gets an arrest warrant signed by a judge. Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. Hayes pulls up to Mitchell's house with 2 patrol officers. Nice neighborhood, tree-lined street, big houses with manicured lawns. Hayes walks up to the front door, rings the bell. Mitchell's wife answers. Mid-50s, wearing a bathrobe. Her hair is messy. She looks confused, scared. Can I help you? I need to speak with Raymond Mitchell. What's this about? Mitchell appears behind her. He's in pajamas. His hair is sticking up. He looks at Hayes and his face goes pale. He knows. Raymond Mitchell, Hayes says. She pulls out her badge, holds it up. You're under arrest for the murder of Daniel Marcus. Mitchell's wife gasps, puts her hand over her mouth. Hayes reads Mitchell his rights, while the two officers step forward with handcuffs. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Mitchell doesn't resist, just holds out his wrists. The officer cuffs him. His wife is crying now, asking what's happening. Mitchell doesn't answer, just stares at the floor. They walk him out to the patrol car. Neighbors are coming out of their houses, watching. Phones out, recording. Mitchell gets in the back of the car. Hayes slides in next to him. They drive to the station in silence. At the station, Mitchell is processed, fingerprinted, photographed, put in an interrogation room. His lawyer arrives 2 hours later. Expensive suit, expensive shoes, expensive briefcase. This is the kind of lawyer you call when you're guilty and have money to spend. Hayes sits across from Mitchell and his lawyer, turns on the recording device. Interview with Raymond Mitchell. May 23, 2023. Present are Detective Sarah Hayes, suspect Raymond Mitchell, and attorney David Greenwald. She lays out the evidence methodically, one piece at a time, watches Mitchell's face as she does. The phone records. The burner phone pinging near Mitchell's house before going to the lake. The financial records. $5,000 deposited into Mitchell's account on May 15, 2011, the day after Danny died. The exact amount Danny withdrew. The witness testimony. Jason Reed and 3 other former players, all confirming the illegal betting ring. All confirming Danny threatened to report it. The text messages, pulled from the carrier's archives. Danny's threat to tell. Mitchell's desperation. And finally, the DNA. Touch DNA on the chains. 13-point match to Raymond Mitchell. The lawyer's face gets paler with each piece of evidence. He keeps glancing at Mitchell. Mitchell just sits there, staring at the table, not moving, not reacting. Hayes finishes, sits back. Mr. Mitchell, the evidence against you is overwhelming. Your DNA is on the chains that were wrapped around Danny's body. Your phone records place you at the lake the night he died. You deposited the exact amount of money Danny withdrew on the day after his death. Multiple witnesses have confirmed your illegal gambling operation and Danny's threat to expose you. She pauses. This is your opportunity to tell your side of the story. The lawyer leans over to Mitchell, whispers urgently. Mitchell shakes his head. The lawyer tries again, more insistent this time. Mitchell puts his hand up. Stop, Ray. As your attorney, I strongly advise. I'm done. Mitchell looks at Hayes. His eyes are red. I want to make a statement. Ray, don't. I want to make a statement. Mitchell slams his hand on the table. The sound echoes in the small room. The lawyer sits back, defeated. He knows it's over. Hayes starts a new recording. Raymond Mitchell, you're making this statement voluntarily? Yes. You've been advised of your rights? Yes. You understand that anything you say can be used against you? Yes. Go ahead. Mitchell takes a deep breath. When he speaks, his voice is quiet, tired, like he's been carrying this weight for 12 years and he's finally setting it down. Danny found out about the betting, about the games I was fixing. He confronted me in March of his senior year, said what I was doing was wrong, that I was exploiting kids, that I was supposed to be teaching them integrity. Hayes doesn't interrupt, just listens. The lawyer has his head in his hands. I tried to explain, tried to tell him it wasn't that simple, that I had debts, gambling debts, that I was going to lose my house if I didn't pay them off. But Danny didn't care. He said that wasn't his problem, that I should face the consequences of my actions. He threatened to report you. Yes. To the principal, to the school board, to the police. He said if I didn't turn myself in, he'd do it for me. So you paid him to keep quiet. I gave him $5,000. Begged him to give me time, to let me fix things before he went public. He took the money, but he said it didn't change anything, that he'd give me until the end of the school year, and then he was reporting it. What happened on May 14th? Mitchell closes his eyes. He texted me during prom. Said he'd thought about it and he couldn't wait anymore. That doing the right thing was more important than protecting me. Said he was giving the money back and reporting me the next day. You bought a burner phone to communicate with him. Yes, I didn't want texts between us on my real phone, didn't want a trail. What did you tell him? I begged him to meet me. Just to talk. To give me one more chance to convince him. He said no at first, but I kept pushing. Finally, he agreed. Said he'd meet me at the lake at midnight. Then what? I went there. I brought the $5,000 in cash. I thought if I just explained everything, if I just made him understand, he'd give me more time. Mitchell's voice breaks. He wipes his eyes. But when I got there, he wouldn't listen. He said I was a coward, that I'd let down every kid I'd ever coached, that he was ashamed he ever looked up to me. You got angry. I lost my temper. I had a tire iron in my trunk for changing flat tires. I grabbed it. I just wanted to scare him, to make him stop talking, to make him listen. You hit him. Yes. Mitchell is crying now, full sobs. I hit him once, just once, but it was hard. He fell. His head hit a rock on the side. There was so much blood. So much blood. What did you do? I checked his pulse. There was nothing. No pulse. No breathing. Nothing. He was dead. Mitchell puts his face in his hands. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't call an ambulance. Couldn't call the police. I'd go to prison. Lose everything. So you went to the hardware store? Yes. The 24-hour place on Route 9. I bought chains and cinder blocks. Paid cash. The clerk barely looked at me. You went back to the lake? Yes. I wrapped Danny's body in the chains, attached the cinder blocks to his feet. I used wire from my garage, made sure it was tight, made sure he'd stay down. Then you pushed him in, from the dock, the deepest part of the lake. I watched him sink. It took maybe 30 seconds. Then he was gone. Mitchell is sobbing now, can barely get the words out. Then I drove his car to the parking lot, left his stuff on the seat, made it look like he'd walked into the water, like he'd killed himself. And you let his family think that for 12 years. Mitchell doesn't answer, just cries. Hayes leans forward. His mother died in 2018. Margaret Hayes. She died believing her son took his own life, believing he was weak, believing he gave up. She spent 8 years in that pain because you couldn't face the consequences of your actions. Mitchell sobs harder. She died not knowing where her son was, not being able to bury him, not being able to say goodbye. You took that from her. I'm sorry, Mitchell chokes out. I'm so sorry. Sorry isn't enough. Hayes stands. Raymond Mitchell, you're under arrest for the first-degree murder of Daniel Marcus. 6 months later, the trial begins. The courthouse is packed. The prosecution presents their case methodically. The phone records, the DNA, the financial trail, the witness testimony, the confession. Mitchell's lawyer tries to argue heat of passion, manslaughter instead of murder. Says Mitchell didn't plan to kill Danny, that it was a moment of rage, an accident. But the prosecutor destroys that argument in closing statements. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant wants you to believe this was an accident, a moment of passion. But let me walk you through what actually happened. The prosecutor stands in front of the jury, makes eye contact with each one. Raymond Mitchell bought a burner phone. That's premeditation. He used that phone to lure Danny to a remote location at midnight. That's premeditation. When Danny refused to change his mind, Mitchell didn't walk away. He didn't call for help. He grabbed a tire iron and hit an 18-year-old boy in the head hard enough to crack his skull. That's intent. The prosecutor pauses, lets it sink in. But he didn't stop there. He drove to a hardware store. He bought chains and cinder blocks. He drove back to the lake. He wrapped Danny's body in those chains. He attached those cinder blocks. He pushed that boy's body into the deepest part of the lake. Then he moved Danny's car to make it look like suicide. That's not heat of passion. That's not an accident. That's cold, calculated murder. And then, for 12 years, he let Danny's family believe their son killed himself. He went to work every day. He coached other kids. He won awards. He smiled for photos. All while Danny's body was at the bottom of that lake. The prosecutor turns to look at Mitchell. The defendant is not sorry he killed Danny Marcus. He's sorry he got caught. The jury deliberates for 4 hours. They come back with a verdict: guilty of first-degree murder. Mitchell shows no emotion when the verdict is read, just stares straight ahead. His wife is in the gallery crying. His adult children are there too. They're crying, but Mitchell just sits there, stone-faced. 2 weeks later is the sentencing hearing. The courtroom is packed again. Marcus is there with his father. They're in the front row. Danny's extended family behind them. Old friends, people from the community. The judge asks if anyone wants to make a victim impact statement. Marcus stands, walks to the front. His hands are shaking, but his voice is steady when he speaks. My brother died because he tried to do the right thing. He was 18 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him. He was going to college in the fall. He wanted to be a teacher. He wanted to help kids. And you killed him because he threatened your career. Marcus turns to look at Mitchell. You didn't just kill Danny. You killed my mother too. She died in 2018. Died believing her son took his own life. Died thinking he was weak, that he gave up, that he abandoned us. Marcus's voice breaks, but he keeps going. She spent 8 years in that pain. 8 years without answers. 8 years wondering what she did wrong, what she could have done differently. You took that from her. You took her peace. He turns back to the judge. Danny was my best friend. He taught me how to throw a football, how to talk to girls, how to stand up for myself. He taught me that doing the right thing matters more than being comfortable, more than being safe. He died for that principle. And I'm here because of it. Marcus sits down. His father puts an arm around him. They're both crying. The judge looks at Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, do you have anything to say? Mitchell stands. His voice is flat, emotionless. I made a terrible mistake. I was scared. I'm sorry. Marcus jumps to his feet. You're not sorry you killed him. You're sorry you got caught. The judge bangs his gavel. Order. Marcus sits. But he's shaking with rage. The judge addresses Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, you were in a position of trust. You were supposed to mentor young people, to teach them about integrity and character. Instead, you exploited them. You ran an illegal gambling operation using teenage boys, and when one of those boys threatened to expose you, you killed him. The judge pauses. You showed no remorse for 12 years. You went about your life. You continued coaching. You accepted awards. You smiled for cameras, all while Daniel Marcus's body was at the bottom of a lake and his family suffered. This court finds your actions unconscionable. You are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Mitchell's face doesn't change. He just nods slowly. The bailiff leads him away in handcuffs. Mitchell doesn't look at anyone, doesn't look back, just walks out of the courtroom. Marcus watches him go. It's over. Finally over after 12 years. 1 week later, they bury Danny. The funeral is held on a perfect spring day. The sky is bright blue. The sun is warm. Flowers are blooming everywhere. They chose a plot at Greenwood Cemetery, next to where Marcus's mother is buried. The headstone is simple, white marble, Daniel James Marcus, 1993-2011, beloved son and brother, truth teller, finally home. The service is small, just family and close friends. The priest says a few words about Danny, about loss and grief, and finally finding peace. Then Marcus gives the eulogy. He stands at the podium, looks out at the small gathering, takes a deep breath. My brother was 18 when he died, but he had more integrity than most people have in a lifetime. He chose truth over comfort, principle over profit, doing right over doing easy. Marcus's voice is strong, clear. That choice cost him his life. But it also showed me who I want to be, who I need to be. For him. He looks at the casket. I'm sorry it took 12 years to bring you home, Danny. I'm sorry you were down there alone all that time. But you're here now. You're with Mom, and you're at peace. They lower the casket. Everyone throws flowers, white roses, Danny's favorite. After everyone leaves, Marcus and his father sit by the grave. The sun is starting to set. Long shadows stretch across the cemetery. You did good, son, Tom says. His voice is quiet. Tired. You brought him home. The lake brought him home. I just pulled the line. Your mother would be so proud of you. Marcus pulls out the golden D necklace. The police returned it after the trial. He holds it up. The last rays of sunlight catch it. Make it glow. He thinks about throwing it onto the grave. About burying it with Danny. But he doesn't. He puts it back in his pocket. I'm keeping this. To remember. Tom nods. He'd want that. They stand. Walk back to the car together. Behind them, the headstone catches the dying light. The inscription clear and sharp. Finally home. 1 month later, Marcus returns to Clearwater Lake. He hasn't been back since the day he caught Danny's body. Hasn't wanted to. But today feels different. Today feels right. He brings his father. They park in the same spot where Danny's car was found 12 years ago. The spot where Marcus has parked every May 14th for over a decade. They walk down to the dock. Their footsteps echo on the wood. The water is calm, beautiful. The sun sparkles on the surface. They sit on the edge, let their feet dangle over the water. Neither of them speaks for a long time. Just sit there. Watch the lake. Listen to the birds. Finally, Tom breaks the silence. You okay? Marcus thinks about it. Really thinks. Yeah, I think I am. You did something most people couldn't do. You didn't give up. Even when everyone told you to. I just did what Danny would have done. He never gave up on anything. Tom looks out at the water. This place took my son, but it also gave him back. Marcus nods. Pulls out the D necklace one more time. Holds it in his palm. The gold is warm from the sun. He stands. Holds it over the water. Thinks about throwing it in. About letting it sink back down to where Danny was. About letting it rest with his brother. But he doesn't. He puts it back in his pocket. Turns to his father. Ready to go? Tom stands slowly. His knees creak. Yeah, let's go home. They walk back to the car. Get in. Drive away. In the rearview mirror, Clearwater Lake gets smaller. Then disappears around a curve. Marcus doesn't look back. The lake isn't cursed anymore. It's just a lake. Water and fish and memories. But it remembers. It will always remember what happened there. What it took and what it gave back. And now, finally, so does everyone else. Raymond Mitchell is serving life in prison without the possibility of parole at Attica Correctional Facility. His illegal sports betting operation led to 8 additional arrests, including 2 other coaches and a school administrator. 3 employees were terminated. Daniel Marcus's case led to new state protocols for investigating missing persons under the age of 21. The protocols require mandatory phone record analysis within 48 hours of a missing person report, financial record review within 72 hours, and independent oversight of all presumed drowning cases. The protocols are known as Danny's Law. Marcus Hayes visits his brother's grave every May 14th. He still carries the golden necklace. He says he'll carry it for the rest of his life. Clearwater Lake is no longer called cursed. Families picnic there now. Kids swim. Boats dot the water on summer days. Life continues. But the lake remembers. And those who know the story will never forget that for 12 years, the truth was waiting at the bottom. Waiting for someone brave enough to pull it up. Waiting for someone who wouldn't give up. Waiting for Marcus. The end.